Yoink! What's up, beautiful people? We are going away again. Today we're going away to Leinster. Going to do a workshop at 6 p.m. tonight and then 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. All right. I'm pretty excited to go back because I spent a bit of time out at Leinster, an amazing gym. They had an IGA back then. What? So I'm pretty pumped, but that is not what I wanted to drop in and talk about. I wanted to drop in and talk about a breakthrough that I had yesterday. A massive breakthrough, a massive energetic and emotional shift. So if you see my content maybe a month ago, you would have seen that I put a video up about reconnecting with my father. And on a phone call we're talking about a rough patch he was in, and we ended up doing inner child work together, and I was holding space for him. And it was beautiful. I held that space. He cried, he got to let go, he got to shift, he got to process, and then he expressed himself fully, openly and transparently to me, and told me how much I meant to him, and told me how worthy I was in his eyes. And I thought in that moment and in the days preceding that I let that sink in, that I opened my heart and allowed that to come in. But yesterday, no, 2 days ago, we had a phone call and we were talking about a rough patch that I was in. And again, he was telling me about how worthy I was and talking about my little brother and the way that we grew up. And there was this emotional charge there. And I felt this huge urge and need to cry, but I didn't. And as this version of me, as 2020 Lockie, that is very rare. So as soon as we got off that call, I let them know, hey, that doesn't sit well with me. I don't do that. I'm not someone who suppresses and stacks emotion anymore. So I need to get back on a call with you and I need to handle this. And granted, I spoke to a couple of beautiful men in my life who I really trust, who I love and appreciate, and they guided me back to that as well. Gave me the push and the impetus to get on that phone call and book that with my dad. So we did yesterday, and it was amazing. We started talking about it, started talking about how I was raised, how my little brother was raised, and we got to the point where we were talking about worthiness. And it come up that up until 4 years old, I had my dad and my mum. My dad and I were best friends. We did all this amazing stuff together. And then my little brother come along. He was a screamer. He was a crier. He got attention for that. And so I felt like I lost that love. I felt like I lost that energy. And I felt like I lost significance and therefore was not worthy. And then as time went on, as myself and my brother grew, my brother ended up becoming really good at sports. I wasn't. And my dad is an avid sports fan. He's a sports lover. He's sports mad. That's all he does with his spare time is play sports. And my brother was this no-fear, daredevil, boisterous, rough, talented kid. And so my dad gravitated towards him and gave him all his time, attention, energy, and love. And as a kid, I took that as I didn't mean as much anymore. And therefore, I wasn't worthy. And you see, for most of my life, I thought that my sense of unworthiness, not being enough, within life in general, I thought that come from a traumatic experience with my father. But it turns out that it comes from this. It turns out that it was just because I wasn't given the same admiration, respect, love, and time that my little brother was. And through that, I built this need to be successful at something. I couldn't be successful at sports because I was no good at it. I was a scaredy cat. I got smashed in rugby league. The last fight I had in front of my dad, I got knocked out. And so I've put all this pressure and expectation on myself to be good at something else. And that something else is business and helping people. And you mix those two together with that level of expectation, that need to be successful, to in my mind unconsciously win that love and admiration. And when things aren't going my way, it starts to get dark. It tends to get dark because I suddenly have no vehicle, no avenue to go down to acquire and attain that admiration from my dad. Now, he loves me. I know in my mind that he loves me, and I've known in my mind that he loves me. But I just don't think that I opened my heart up to let that love in. And yesterday, in him admitting that he gravitated towards my brother and gave him that time, in him admitting that he had the sense of embarrassment about watching me play sport because I was a scaredy cat, because I got smashed. It allowed me to really cry, to really, really cry and break down on the phone to him hold space, be okay in that silence and not need to fill it with useless words. And it gave me a chance to shift, to process, to finally open that heart with him and allow the way that he views me, the words that he says when he's talking about me being worthy to him. It finally gave me a chance, finally gave me the opportunity and permission to let that land and let that hit my heart. And this has had a ripple effect. I've then gone on to my brother and said, man, I know I was a dick to you growing up. And I apologize that if my resentment or my jealousy of you and my want to be you so that Dad loved me as much as you, bunny ears, quote unquote, loved me as much as you, I'm sorry if that caused me to show up in a way where I made you feel like you weren't enough. And then he ended up coming back to me with a beautiful message and saying that he actually wanted to be like me growing up. So it's just had this massive ripple effect. Yeah, the men in our family are doing the work, and it just feels so beautiful. I feel so light. My energy feels so clean. And I'm just really, really proud of myself, proud of my dad, proud of my brother, proud to be me. Like I said, I'm going up to Leinster. If you're up in Leinster and you want to catch up, please just send me a message. LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. But I just wanted to drop in and share that because that feels alive for me. It feels good. And I'm flying. Ciao.